You're highly welcome to Future Setters' third episode of our Youth Development Show. So it's great to have you today, and we're going to be talking on the topic from chains to change, fighting drug addiction. Because a lot of us have drug addiction. You see, drug addiction. Imagine you are addicted to a particular drug, but you don't really know how to fight it, how to come out from that chain, right? So Future Setters Institute has put together this program so that you can learn so much from us. Now, what is a drug, right? You need to ask yourself what a drug is. You need to ask yourself what drug abuse is. To ask yourself what it means to be addicted to what now? To a drug. But first, Future Setters Institute is an institute where young minds are groomed on three core niches: leadership, personal development, and work ethics. You see, a lot of us have issues, we have challenges, we have inferiority complex, we have low self esteem, we have different problems. So, we actually need to see how we can solve these problems. And that's why we have put together this program, right? We bring young minds from different places all over the world to come and interact with you, to come and inspire you, you understand, so that you can learn so much, right? So, first thing is a drug has to bind to a receptor to cause a change. So a drug has to bind to a receptor. A drug does not just come, you don't just take in a drug and start okay. A drug has to find a receptor that will actually activate it so that it can change, right? Another thing is people can actually misuse a drug, they can abuse a drug, or they can use a drug. Drug use is all about using the drug for the particular purpose. That could be the prescription given to you by the doctor. Drug misuse and drug abuse is all about using it above the prescription you were given. Or drug addiction is all about how you tend to you. Maybe for example, you observe that this drug is very good for this and that. Maybe your friend. You felt this great feeling in you, this special, this sweet feeling in you because you abused that drug. So these are things that comes when you abuse drugs. You abuse drug before you know you become addicted to them. Addicted to them. So there are so many ways. There are so many things that we can be addicted to. We can be addicted to drugs. We can be addicted to alcohol. We can be addicted to drinks, right? Maybe for example, these sodas, right? We can be addicted to sodas. We can be addicted to sex. We can be addicted to masturbation. We can be addicted to social media. There are a lot of things that we can be addicted to. So we need to see how we can fight such addictions, right? We need to see how we can change ourselves, how we can build ourselves so that we can be so strong and surmount such challenges, such problems around. So starting from the first one, we have drug addiction. So we are going to start with drug addiction. Like I said before, in order for a drug to act, it has to bind to a receptor. And drug addiction can be seen as a brain disorder or a brain disease. Why is it a brain disorder or a brain disease? Because it affects the structure and function of the brain, right? Your brain is for a particular function, but when you decide to abuse a drug, it leads to the structure and function will change, right? So you need to know that a drug is used for a particular purpose. The prescription you were given, you have to work in line with the prescription you were given. And drug abuse is chronic, it is progressive, and if continuously done, it can be fatal, right? Because you become so used to it. You love the drug so much. You are so happy that you are taking it and all that. You feel what you are getting is very great. Unknown to you, you are damaging your life, you are damaging yourself. That is the more reason why you need to know that drug addiction is not really ideal, right? So you seek for a drug, you seek for the drug, you have this feeling that without this drug, I'm not complete. Without this drug, I'm not really okay, right? You just feel incomplete, right? There are a lot of things that happen when you abuse drugs. So you may think it's normal to be abusing drugs, but it's not normal. It's not really normal. You see, it causes you keep wanting to take that drug, and that is not ideal, right? If you are taking a drug, it should be for a particular purpose. At that moment, if you are done with the treatment, you stop taking it. But now you want to continuously take the drug. That's really a problem. Drug abuse affects the way you behave. You see some persons, they have a bright future, they have a great future ahead of them, but because they started abusing drugs, their attitude, the way they behave changes, right? The way they change, the way they relate to you changes. You see the way they act, the way they dress, the way they communicate, the places they go, the way they behave. Yeah, everything changes because of what? Drug addiction, drug abuse. So drug abuse leads to inability to control the drug. You just keep using it. Your mind is not able to tell you stop, right? You don't know the damage it's doing to your organs. You don't know the damage it's doing to your liver, your kidney, to your breath, to your taste, all right, to different parts of your body. You don't know what it's doing to you. So it starts from a trial, you try it out to see what it does to you, and then you keep doing it. And there are a lot of drugs. You have different drugs that can be abused. You have benzodiazepine, you have codeine, you have heroin, you have marijuana, so many drugs, ecstasy. There are so many, right? All these drugs are abused and they cause harm to us. You may not know now, but with this video, you will learn so much, and you will know the effect of these drugs on humans. So when you start abusing drugs, it leads to brain difficulty. So taking drugs leads to restlessness, it leads to dizziness, it leads to weakness and all that. It does not manifest at that moment, but when you abuse drug, you see some symptoms, some signs. But you may see those signs as normal when you consistently take those drugs. But when you actually observe that these problems, these things lead to harm, leads to problem to you, then you actually need to know that you need to fight addiction. Another thing about processes that you used to get become addicted to drugs. Some of them could be family. Maybe your father smokes, your father drinks, maybe your father abuses alcohol and all that. Possibly peer pressure, some friends just initiate you, tell you to try it out and all that. Another one can be mental disorders, just some kind of mental disorders. Some of them can be environmental influence. The environment, people do this and that. So you begin to abuse drugs and you just see it as normal. But there is something that happens when you abuse drugs. There is a particular neurotransmitter, and this neurotransmitter is known as dopamine, right? Dopamine is activated when we take drugs, and this dopamine leads to this sweetness, this feeling of happiness, this feeling of joy, pleasurable and enjoyable moment when you take drugs. You abuse drugs and just feel this, you feel really like that you've made it in life and all that. But actually, this is just a symptom, it's just a sign of the drug you have abused. And this has already affected the structure and function of your brain. So you need to know that the dopamine level is not supposed to be elevated unnecessarily, right? You see these feelings when you stay around your family, your friends, right? You enjoy yourself, you discuss, you have great conversations. This also releases dopamine and makes you happy well, like you are happy without causing any harm to what has already been stated. Right? But when you decide to take drugs and elevate your dopamine level, there's already a problem. Then disadvantages of addiction. Addiction leads to cardiovascular diseases, leads to heart rates, irregularities, respiratory problems. You have respiratory problems, you have malnutrition. A lot of people, when they abuse drugs, they forget that they are supposed to eat. They are supposed to eat, so they malnourish themselves. And that is a problem. So one of the best ways to solve drug addiction is by withdrawing yourself from such drugs. You think it's easy? It's not really easy, but you have to withdraw yourself from such drugs. Counseling, you see, counseling is another thing. Psychotherapy, detox, health education, educating yourself that this thing causes harm to you and you need to stop it, right? Another form of addiction that a lot of us have is cigarette smoking, cigarette addiction. Right? We are addicted to smoking. Actually, I have a friend or maybe someone back then, every day he smokes a packet of cigarettes, not just one stick, a packet of cigarettes. And this actually causes a lot of harm to him. Why do I say so? It causes a lot of harm in the sense that when he continuously smokes this packet of cigarettes, he does not have a sense of well-being anymore. You see, he tends to squander his money, he tends to waste his time, tends to the people he moves around with, they are not really great people, not really wonderful people. You understand? These are problems that come when you abuse drugs, when you smoke. It causes so much harm to you. And I'm going to tell you some of the harms that a lot of people tend to get when they smoke. So some of them, the consequence of a cigarette smoking, you need to know that a cigarette is carcinogenic. It is carcinogenic and mutagenic. What does it mean to be carcinogenic? It has the qualities of causing cancer to humans, right? So you need to see how you can stop cigarette smoking. What does it do to you? You talk about your liver, talk about your kidney, talk about what, talk about when it comes to cigarette smoking. If you check the pack, it will tell you that cigarette smokers are liable to die young and all that. But that thing is actually one problem that a lot of people have, because they doubt the sincerity of such a message. They doubt the sincerity of such a message. How do I mean? See, some of them, they've smoked for grossly 60 to 70 years of their life, but they've still not died, and they are still like, what if I continue smoking, right? What if I continue smoking? So this is one challenge that a lot of people have. So we need to see how we can actually understand that there is a receptor that this cigarette binds to, and if you lack that receptor, no matter how much time you smoke, you will still not become cancerous. So you actually need to understand that. So some people lack the receptors. Passive smokers passive smokers they actually die more. They actually die more than people that are active, because there is a particular part of the body that this cigarette passes, but you are passing it directly through your nose ribs, right? So there is a particular problem. The problem that active smokers get when they smoke is different from the problem that passive smokers get, because they directly inhale, they directly take in this smoke, and this causes harm to them. So another thing is, what can we do? What can we do if, for example, I'm an addict, addicted to smoking? So first thing is to avoid triggers. What are those things that trigger me to smoke? What are the possible things that trigger me to smoke? So maybe, for example, there's this thing. What you need to know is that when you smoke, you always take your hand to your mouth, right? You take it towards your mouth. What if possibly maybe when you eat and all that, you can just after that, maybe when you have this test to smoke, what if you take a chewing gum to kill that feeling? Or maybe when you use toothpick and all that, you can use that to kill the feeling. These are some of the ways some people use, and it has been recommended from journals and articles, right? These are some of the ways you can use to kill that longing, that feeling that I should smoke at that moment. Then another thing is, think about the amount of money you waste, the amount of money you spend to destroy your lifespan. Think about it, because you are actually reducing your lifespan when you smoke consistently. Why not just save that money to do other things? The money that you're spending to smoke, why not just save that money? If you really look at it, the amount of money you spend, some persons spend so much money on a daily basis. Maybe they buy a packet, maybe they buy 2 packets, smoke 2 packets and all that. They don't even care about whether they are eating or not. They just care about the feeling they get when they smoke. Think about your children's life, those children that are watching you, those children that are looking at you around. Think about the influence you give to them, the bad influence you give to them. Why not just stop smoking? Or why not just stop smoking? It's very important. So those that are watching you, they need to instill morals, they need to learn, they need to grow. So if you actually influence them negatively, it causes a lot of harm. So when you quit smoking, there are some things from research. When you quit smoking, just take note of this point. When you quit smoking, 20 to 25% of your heart starts to return to normal. You see, your heart rate, the way you breathe in and out, the way you actually do things will change. 20 to 25%, 20 to 25 minutes immediately you stop smoking, your heart rate starts to return to normal. Imagine carbon monoxide poisoning that comes when you smoke. This will also leave, right? Carbon monoxide poisoning depreciates to an extent. Your sense of taste and smell, you see those that smoke, their body, their mouth is very dry and all that. So imagine when you stop smoking, your sense of taste and smell, you begin to smell well, begin to taste well. All right. After 3 days, nicotine has left your body. Nicotine is very poisonous. It leaves your body when you stop smoking. Your lung begins to function very well, begins to function normally. But after 20 days, 20 days, you can still become addicted. There are some persons I've reached out to, they will tell me that Victor, I've stopped smoking. After some minutes, they will still come again. They will still come again and be like, I started again. You see them with cigarettes and all that. But if you can actually decide, let me just stop it. You see, it's not really easy, but you can actually stop it. And like he said, 20 days after, you still have that long. Even if you said you want to stop cigarette smoking, 20 days after, you will still have that urge to be addicted to cigarette smoking. That's another problem. So the only way, one of the best ways to solve this problem is to have self-control and discipline. Self-control and discipline will help you. If you have decided to stop it, self-control will help you out. In the and drug addiction, there's a particular person when it comes to all this alcohol and all that, when he smokes and all that, he spends unnecessarily, he loses his consciousness. There's no consciousness. He has a very high spending habit, and that's one problem. So when you smoke, when you drink, you don't really have yourself. It's until the next day, maybe when you have relaxed a bit, you have left the hangover and all that, you now begin to think and imagine the stupid decisions or nonsense decisions you made. So if you can actually stop it, it will give you your sense of consciousness back, the way you think and all that. It will help you. Then another form of addiction that a lot of people have, young people have, is gambling addiction. A lot of people are faced with gambling addiction, right? You see, a lot of people every day, they always want to go to a place where they can just betting and all that, gamble, where they can play all this betting and all that, and they spend on a daily basis trying to bet, right? And imagine you most times do not win. It's risk to your blood. You hardly have that urge to stop. You see, those shops are usually filled with so many persons. But if you can actually control yourself when it comes to your spending, you can actually be a financial literate. You know that you can manage your money effectively, that your money needs to be spent in a right manner. Don't need to waste my money on unnecessary things. That's already a great plus to me. So one thing about gambling, there's a particular story I read. A grandmother was giving code to go and bet, and she parked her car along the road. Unknown to her, she forgot that her grandchild, was at the back of the car, right? And then she locked the car, locked the windows and everything. She forgot that the child was there. She went to bet, and after betting, she discovered that she went back to check, and she discovered that her child suffocated and died. So imagine such a situation. Even a lot of persons spend their hard-earned money going to bed, and they do not save that money, the money they are supposed to invest in their life, invest in doing things. They spend so much money every day to what now, to go and bet, and after everything it results in problems. So if you can actually know that this money that I have, I channel it to the right environment, the right places, and I just do things rightly, possibly I maybe most times a lot of people cannot stop it, but at least to an extent you can control it. You can control the way you do certain things. That's even the best thing. Try to control it. That's one thing that we should try to do, because if you are already addicted to it, every day you surely want to do it. So just try your possible best to control yourself with that. So you see some people, you are trying to please them, you just go with them because they are going to bet. Maybe somebody is betting with 100,000. You now decide to bet with 100,000. You know that 100,000 you have is not really, it's something you want to use for something else. You now bet and you lose all the money. So think about all those things, the risk you take. Try to, if you are going to make risk, you know the places you make your risk in, not in gambling, not in betting. This is not a good place to work and to bet, to do things. You have to make sure that you know what you are doing. Then Have self-control, like I said before. Try to have self-control and invest your money in the right places. So some of the effects of smoking, some of the effects of smoking, you have to know that when you smoke, it can lead to birth defects. Can lead to birth defects. So you see some women smoke. They may have deformities. Their child may have deformities. Can lead to miscarriages. When you smoke, it can lead to miscarriages. It can also lead to sudden infant disease, sudden infant death syndrome. That's SIDS. When you smoke, it can lead to what now? It can lead to birth defects. It can lead to miscarriages. It can lead to sudden infant death syndrome, which is SIDS. So since 1960, over 2 million people die from secondhand smoke. Just take note of this point. Over 2 million people die of secondhand smoke because they are always exposed to the same effects of those that are active smokers. See, active smokers, they smoke through the right part, right? There's a particular part that the smokers will pass through. And there is a way the liver tends to do certain things and all that. You know, there are certain things the liver tries to do. But there is no way you will continue doing it that will not cause harm to you. Like they say, bio accumulation will definitely lead to it will lead to problems, right? Because it will be accumulating the problems. You're accumulating it little by little until it finally harms you. So if you know what you're doing, try to put your attention, put your time in something that will actually build your life. Why spend so much time and effort into something that will kill you in the end? Why not invest your time, your money into something that will build you, right? Passive smokers, they also have these same challenges, these same problems. They have the issues which can lead to lung cancer. This inhaling of cigarette smoke and all traits. They also have that same trait, that's the ability to get cancer. Children also have the issues, the ear infection. They have high risks of lung cancer as a carcinogen. So maybe you are drinking and your friend is smoking. So maybe you think it doesn't do any harm to you, but actually it does. That's the fact. So if you actually know this, then you try your possible best to distance yourself from anyone that smokes. Try your possible best. Give as much distance as possible to protect yourself, because this harm that comes from smoking cannot be, this harm that comes from smoking, when it continuously happens to you, you cannot save yourself anymore. So it's best you keep yourself far from such persons. Remove yourself from such friends that harm you. They harm you, they don't know, but they cause harm to you. So some of the treatments, the possible ways that you can save yourself from these problems that come from addiction. One of them is behavioral therapy. You can go for counseling. Another one is group therapy. You can go for group therapy, maybe from an organization. You can go to an organization that is actually into trying to see how you can come out and become your best self and all that. You can go for family support and friends, right? You can seek support from friends that maybe they have gone through the same challenge. They can share their story with you so that you can come out, can become accountable for your life, because this life you have is your life, right? So you don't have two, you only have one. So if you cause harm to your life, you cannot save yourself anymore. So you actually need to be accountable for your life. Then say these words. There are certain words that you should try to say. These words will help you to change. Now, some of the words that you say is, when I stop smoking, people will love me more. So when I stop smoking, people will love me more. That's just a fact. So you see a lot of people when they just pollute the whole air with smoke and all that. But actually, when you stop smoking, people will love you more. They will be more dedicated to you. They'll be happy that this person already left what he used to do. You see some relationships, most of them crumble because the partner is a smoker. Most women don't like to marry a smoker. And most smokers love to marry smokers. And most smokers, their children are going to be smokers. Think about it. So you actually need to see how you can stop smoking. So when you stop smoking, people will love you more. Another one is, when I stop smoking, the other sex will be more attracted to me. So imagine, maybe you are shy, maybe you're not really shy. Possibly one of the reasons why you are still single, possibly one of the reasons why you are not married could be that you are smoking, right? Possibly one of the reasons why you have not met the right partner is because you are smoking. So try your possible best to stop smoking. The other one is when I stop smoking, I'll be promoted at work. You see, your level at work, people know that you are a smoker. But when you stop smoking, people will promote you. They'll promote you to the highest level. You see that you are growing at work because you were able to solve, you were able to change yourself, build yourself. You see the way you even dress, the way you even behave, everything about you change when you stop smoking. So you actually need to stop smoking. And that one is when I stop smoking, I'll be more confident, right? The confidence you have because you were able to leave something that was a very big challenge to you. You're able to solve a particular problem that a lot of persons are trying to solve, but you were able to solve it just because you were dedicated and you know that that thing is causing harm to you. You need to change that part of your life. So I should not be proud to smoke. I should not be proud to smoke. So the first point, like I said, when I stop smoking, people will love me better, people will love me more. And that one is when I stop smoking, the other sex will be more attracted to me. When I stop smoking, I will get promoted at work. When I stop smoking, I will I've drank 10 bottles of beer. I've drank 15 bottles of beer. I've smoked 15 packets. You see some persons that even smoke, they've not eaten. The money they've not really eaten. From morning till night, they've not eaten. You just see them in one spot. Work that they are supposed to just because they keep smoking, do what they're supposed to do, just because they keep smoking. This smoking, a lot of people, they will say when they smoke, it opens their tummy. Because you see, when you have started smoking, when you consistently smoke, it leads to you not getting hungry easily, right? You see some of them, when you encounter them or have some kind of conversation with them, it opens their stomach, right? When they smoke, they now have this longing to eat, right? You see, these are problems that come. Why not just be normal? These are questions you need to ask yourself. Why not just be normal? Why put yourself through such problems? Why put yourself through such challenges? Things that will not actually be of help to you. Why put yourself through so much challenges? So you need to see how you can build yourself, build your life. So certain things, you see a greater, a promising young individual, it can become somebody that can become something great in this life, somebody that's supposed to be maybe a well-to-do leader, maybe a person that will be the top of the class and all that. Person was just influenced into smoking, into alcohol and all that, and the person now just drops down to something else. Just imagine, maybe some persons are now into scamming people because they flock around people that are drug addicts, people that are, they abuse this drug. Some people even they take drugs to rape, they give people drugs. Negative. So these are some of the things, just so negative. These are some of the negative things and all that. And this causes problems in the life of young individuals, right? Think about it. So these things are not really good. They are not really good. So this addiction can lead to disintegration, can lead to problems. Your brain, your mind, and everything just depreciates to the lowest level. So you actually need to see how you can upgrade your brain, get yourself back. And that's why we said from change to change, you were actually chained up in a situation where you were not yourself anymore. You see some places trying to speak to you, they're talking to you, but because you've now become a nuisance, you have now become maybe you have now become something else. Nobody can appeal to you, nobody can talk to you again. You are now changed yourself. You have changed yourself to a situation where you cannot come out again. So you actually need to remove that chain and change to become a greater version of yourself. Truly, maybe when you are even able to come out from this shell, you become a better person. So alcoholism, you have regular intake of alcohol. Regular intake of alcohol can lead to liver and kidney damage. You see a lot of damage, kidney failures and all that. And there's one particular deficiency. It's one particular deficiency that results when we abuse alcohol, when we take so much alcohol to vitamin B1 deficiency. So you see, these are some of the things. See a lot of deficiency, a lot of problems that result when we abuse drugs, alcohol, and all that. Alcohol diminishes guilt feelings. Maybe, for example, some persons even want to kill somebody. Maybe they are murderers, right? They just take alcohol or they smoke and all that. These persons they abuse drugs definitely, because you don't expect someone that will be in his normal mind to just shoot someone, kill someone, take someone's life, right? These are some of the things people take to just diminish these guilt feelings. They don't even feel as if they killed someone. So imagine such a situation. So you should be able to face your fears. Face your fears. So as a man, I should be able to face my fears. I'm depressed. I'm not strong. I'm not able to speak out. I'm not able to do certain things. I don't need to take drugs to make myself confident. Why not just take my time to build my confidence? Think about it. I don't need a drug to build me. I don't need a drug to give me confidence. I don't need a drug to make me happy. I don't need a drug to do certain things. I don't need. Sometimes it's even best your body heals. You see some duties you do, your body can heal by itself. Because most times, like I always say, the brain is like a muscle. When you do exercises, your muscle becomes toned out strong. So also your muscle, when you do exercise, you do certain hard work and all that, your body will heal. But most times we prefer to take drugs. These drugs also have its own effects on us. Actually, what if we just give our body the ability to build itself? It will even become stronger, right? These are some of the things we need to do. So try our possible best to think about how we can face our fears. These are some of the challenges. When we face our fears, we live a better life. We live intentionally, not necessarily taking drugs to please ourselves and all that. No. Macquarie 1981 says that excessive drinkers drink to live, while alcoholic drinkers live to drink. You see a lot of persons when they are in a place where they get alcohol, some persons just say, take as much as you want. You want to drink to stupor, you want to drink as much as you want. Possibly you want to take 20, take 30 bottles, 40 bottles. Is that really a great thing to do? You are destroying yourself, you are destroying your life. It's not really necessary. So you actually need to know that alcohol is something that you should not abuse. Even if possibly you can take one is okay. What's the necessary need to take 20 bottles, 50 bottles? You are addicted to it, you want to consistently take it. Is it really necessary? Then the components of alcohol tends to suppress the nutrients necessary for growth. You see, there are some nutrients. You are supposed to be growing, you're supposed to be getting tall, you're supposed to be thinking far, you have a bright future, just like I said, you have a bright future ahead of you. Then you now expect that when you take alcohol, you will now become a better person. No, you don't. You don't. You even depreciate. The way you talk, the way you speak, the way you act, the way you dress, everything just changes. People will even be looking at you and they'll be like, this is not the Victor I used to know. This is not the person I used to know, right? So actually, if you are to do anything, do it in moderation. But I do not advise you to be addicted to drugs. Try your possible best to do what is right. Don't waste your time doing something that is not necessary for your life. So, like I said, you see a lot of persons, their skin, their body, it affects their growth and makes them have a short, maybe they become short, they have a very low physique. Some of them become, they become something else. They used to have a very good brain before. They used to be very the top of the class before. But because of all these drugs that they are abusing, because of the influence they got, then they depreciate and they become something else, right? You see some of the things. Then another thing is, you see some persons are even addicted to sachet drinks. You see these sachet drinks that they are sold here and there. But then you just take a sip and they feel before you know they take another sip, before you know they take another sip because they feel it's cheaper and all that. These things you get addicted to them. They in turn cause harm to you. Yes, there is a man that used to stay close to me. Every day he takes this thing. I always see him with this drink. I think Captain Jack or something. He takes this drink consistently every day. What happened was that he got to a level. There was a particular day he told me, he said, Victor, the problem that this alcohol does to me is that it dries my skin, dries my body. You see, before you know what killed this man was liver damage. So you see a lot of young individuals, they harm themselves. Then when the damage comes, they'll now tell you, let's go to India, let's go to China, let's go to this and that. Because of this, they start calling almost 20 million to do all this treatment and all that. You understand? Dialysis and all that. All these things could have been solved with what? Discipline. With discipline. We actually need to control ourselves. If you see your mate taking beer, 10 bottles, 50 bottles, do you need to take it? Not necessary. Even the money you spend taking all these things, you are damaging yourself. Even if it is 4 bottles or 5 bottles you are taking, you are still damaging yourself. Anything you do, do it in moderation. That's the actual thing. And you see, all these organizations, there are certain organizations, health organizations out there. There is something they call drug screening test, alcohol and drug screening test. If organizations, maybe it comes to football, maybe it comes to schools, can actually involve alcohol and drug screening test to do the nature of students, the nature of people, it will actually help in a long way. Maybe you know that this student abuses drugs and you report them to the right authority. See, these are things that can actually be done. So there are certain things, like I said before, there's a particular neurotransmitter that is affected when we abuse drug, and this neurotransmitter is dopamine. And dopamine is involved in motivation, it's involved in reinforcement, involved in pleasure, and all that. So when we abuse drugs, when we are addicted to drugs, neurotransmitter is the neurotransmitter, which is dopamine, is affected. We also have other neurotransmitters like serotonin, you have gamma aminobutyric acid. So many neurotransmitters can be affected. But the major neurotransmitter that is affected when we abuse drug is what? Dopamine. So we actually need to see how we do the right thing. Don't waste your time. Do not spend your time doing unnecessary things. Why not just be more productive? See, these are some of the things. There are also so many other drugs. You have depressants, antidepressants, they cause dependent drowsiness. You see, become drowsy. This one affects your awareness. You may be in a place, but it's not as if you are there. You are not there. You are in another place. Maybe you are in a class, but what you are thinking about is another thing because of the drug you took. There's another one called heroin and opioid drugs, right? This one causes euphoria, sedation, and dysphoria. You see, there are also some drugs called stimulants. Stimulants. This one, they are involved in relaxation to improve alertness. Cocaine, the cocaine, or this one, cocaine boosts confidence and attentiveness. Some of these things, if some of these, there are some persons, right? There are some doctors, if they are even prescribing drugs to you, they tend to have the drugs sometimes have some components of these drugs, not necessarily the drugs, but whatsoever you are doing, anything you are doing, do it in moderation. Do not abuse drugs. If you are prescribed to take a particular drug, do not take more than the dose you were assigned to take. So one of the great things about fighting addiction is that you need to know how to fight addiction. What are the steps? What are the things? I've said so many things about addiction, said so many types of addiction and all that, but you actually need to know the steps. How do I fight this addiction? And one of the ways to fight addiction, okay, one of the ways to fight addiction is activity and productivity. Activity and productivity. Keep your mind busy. So if your mind is busy, will you necessarily have time to do those things? You won't even have time to smoke, to drink, and all that. If you are busy, you have something you are doing. You have so much. Your brain is constantly thinking of the next problem to solve. You will be able to fight this addiction. You don't even have time for addiction. One thing I always say, or one thing I learned from a great like Precious Emmanuel always says, she said, you need to be in a place that constantly engages your mind. You need to be around people that motivates you, that make you live a great life. You live a life, maybe some persons are just living a life, normal life and all that. Possibly when you meet people that can actually change the way you think, meet people that can actually change the way you do your things, then you will be happy that what's the need? What is need being addicted to all these things? Ask yourself. So face your fears with confidence and live your life like it's your life. So this is your life. This is your life. So you need to live your life intentionally. Then another thing is when you have problems, try to seek for help. Try to seek for help when you have problem. Have a person you can reach out to in tough times. Maybe you have someone, you have a problem, you are going through something. You can actually meet someone. This is the problem I'm having. What's the need abusing drug? What's the need taking a drug to solve the problem? All you just need is someone that you can speak to, tell how you feel, and maybe this person can actually provide the solution to your problem. So you don't necessarily need to come and start abusing drugs, taking drugs to feel all right. You can actually just meet someone. This is what I'm having, right? I'm addicted to masturbation. Okay, I'm addicted to sex. I'm addicted to alcohol. I'm addicted to drug. I'm addicted to this. You can even reach out to your parents. This is what I'm addicted to. This is the problem I'm facing. What can I do? Right? Okay, when I was young, maybe possibly you were abused and all that. You speak out when you are a young person. Most times when you are young, all these things will linger on. If you can actually speak out, tell your parents these are the problems I'm facing, you can actually save yourself and you live a better life. But most times we decide to keep quiet, we decide to die of depression, and maybe something hurts us at the first moment. We're hurt, maybe someone just gave us one drug, forced us to take something, and then because of that, you now continue to take it because someone forced you to take it. Like I said, it's your life, right? So you actually need to ensure that you speak out, talk to someone. This is the problem I'm facing. This is my life. This is the problem I'm facing. Help me solve this problem. So another thing is a lot of us spend our time on social media. Actually, you see, this internet to an extent should have been for research. Yes, we should use our phones for research to do certain things and all that. But a lot of us just spend our time doing nothing. This is another form of addiction, social media addiction. We spend our time doing nothing. We are not really doing anything on social media. All we are just doing is chatting someone. How are you doing? I'm fine. Hope you are good. All those things. The time you are supposed to spend doing something productive, you are spending it online on social media doing nothing. Why not spend your time productively? Like I said before, you need to spend your time productively. Avoid pornography. Like I said before, avoid triggers. Some of the triggers could be what you are doing currently. What am I doing currently? You see, triggers could be watching pornography. The reason why you are addicted to masturbation could be possibly you are watching pornography, or possibly you are always thinking of unnecessary things, thinking of sex and all that. Why not just control yourself and avoid what will trigger you to get that, right? You need to avoid triggers. Another thing is spend your time around people. Just like I said, in terms of social media, it's even best to spend your time around people. Those physical conversations, those conversations you have is what is best, right? Instead of chatting someone up, most times people may not even have time for you. Sometimes you may not even have anybody reaching out to you to check up on you and all that. But if you can actually spend your time, engaging in great persons, there are some persons that just want. Another thing is build your life and focus on your growth, right? So possibly you have something on your mind, right? Maybe you lost so much money. You see, this is another problem that a lot of people have. They lost so much money. Maybe they invested in something and they could not get it back. They become depressed. They start abusing drugs. They feel it's the end of the world. No, that is not the end of the world, right? That's why I said one of the things that we need to do is to engage in conversations. Try to know that this is not the end of the world, right? Speak with someone, talk to someone that is experienced, someone that is willing to see you grow, someone that is ready to build you, someone that is ready to work with you so that you can become the best version of yourself. You see, when you speak out to tell someone the problem you have, maybe that could actually solve the problem that you have if the person has experience. You understand? But if possibly the person does not have experience, then you have to reach out to people that are experienced in that field. You don't need to abuse drugs, right? Don't abuse drugs, don't smoke because you want to console yourself about the problems you are having. Why not just face your fears. That problem that you're having is something that can be solved. There's no problem in this life that cannot be solved. So another thing is go out and experience life for yourself. Don't just stay in a secluded place. You see, you are depressed, stay in a secluded place. You are abusing drug. Yes, just like I said, you feel it's the end of the world, that your life has ended and all that. You just do it to while away time. Maybe most times, some of them don't even have money, right? They don't have money. They lost their job. They've lost everything. They feel they cannot make it again. They just decide to sit down, just smoke till the next day. They continue again, continue life the next day. That is not necessary. You have to see or look into yourself and change the way you are, change your life. That's why I say from change to change. And now know that your environment matters. The people you surround yourself with, they matter. The place you are right now matters. It matters because if you know where you are supposed to be, then you'll be in the right place. But when you are around people that will make you do this, try this out, try unnecessary things out. Yes, there are certain things that you can try out, but not unnecessary things. So you try all those unnecessary things out. See, these are problems already. So you need to know the environment you are, right? And that one is parents should make time for young ones. Parents should be very much involved in the building up of their children. If parents are actually involved in the building up of their children, yes, that will actually help them to build themselves. You know, when they are, you see your child is abusing drugs, you advise your child. If you have a relationship with your child, when you tell your child to do something, your child will do it, will not do it. If you tell your child don't do this, you will not do it. So if you can train your child, tell your child that these things are not supposed to be done. Do not be influenced by people. Your child is like just like a brother to you. You understand? Not necessarily making it be like there's a big distance and all that. Make your child feel like someone that you can speak to, talk to, and tell those challenging things, and he listens to you because you have parented the child well. So parents should try to make out time for their children. That was it. Then schools, organizations, televisions should try to create awareness, just like I'm doing right now, creating awareness on drug abuse, creating awareness on fighting alcoholism, creating awareness on fighting cigarette smoking, creating awareness on fighting masturbation. So organizations need to spread the message. Organizations need to make people know that these things are not good, and we need to find possible solutions to them. Bring young people together so that they can change their mindsets, right? Show people ways that they can use to build themselves. So there are possible solutions to these problems. But because most people feel that it's the end of the world, that they just want to while away time, that there's nothing useful that they can do again in this world, then they just keep abusing these things and harming themselves. So at times when we hear a strange drug, or maybe a strange name, see, as a young person, we are usually inquisitive. You just hear something, masturbation, be like, wow, what's masturbation? Just go and Google it. What's it called? Then you go and start trying it out. That's one thing about people. Maybe they just hear codeine. They'll go and search it. What's codeine? They'll go and try it out. What is marijuana? What is this? What's that? Possibly some persons hear strange names, and if you are telling someone a strange name, also tell the person that this thing is not ideal. Warn the person, tell the person that you should not go and try it out, right? Yeah. Another thing is self-control. One of the greatest things that young individuals can use to fight addiction or drug abuse is self. One of the best ways to fight addiction is self-discipline and self-control. If we can control ourselves, we know this is our life. This is our life. Like I said, this is your life. So if you can actually control yourself, then that is already the best part of your life. You'll be able to build yourself and groom yourself. Then another thing is have some advice that I have for young individuals, right? Some of the advice I have for them. And this advice I got it today. You see a lot of people, a lot of young individuals tend to abuse these bottle drinks, these Coke, 7-Up, Pepsi, and all that. You just want to take as much as possible, as many as possible. You see, there's a person that where I sell drinks, right? They will come, take the bottle in the morning, in the, let's say some an hour after, 2 hours after, you take another bottle. In the afternoon, you take another bottle. In the maybe towards in the evening time, you take another bottle. In the night, you take another bottle. That's already 5 bottles some one person will take in a day. Imagine such blood sugar level. Imagine the sugar level of the person, right? The person will have elevated blood sugar. There's even one uncle I used to have. Currently, still my uncle, right? So what happens is that he used to abuse these drinks. This drink, like I said before, take up to 5 bottles a day. He's a lecturer and all that. Takes all these drinks. But then he got to a level that he became so slim. He emaciated. He was just something else. He was not himself again. Then he decided that let me go and do tests. And he did test. He observed that the problem that he had was the abuse of these drugs, these drinks, right? The abuse of these drinks. So these are some of the problems that a lot of young people have. If we can actually stop taking these drinks, these sodas, these sugary drinks, and invest the money that we are spending to do this, just use the money to do something else. No, when you use the money to do something else, that's already a great thing. You understand? So we actually need to see how. So another thing, try to do routine blood sugar test on a daily basis. Try to do tests, go for tests, right? Possibly you have been abusing drugs, but now you have agreed that you want to come out of it. Go and do tests. Try your possible best to do tests. Try your possible best to eat and eat food. Try to eat good food. Another thing is try to drink water. Try to drink water. Take fruits. Take fruits. Eat your food. Eat food. You understand? Use vegetables, right? Just try to do this. This is also great for your health. Try to take vegetables. It's very important. Another thing is have fun, be around people, relate to people, do not feel depressed, do not let yourself feel that this is the end of the world. This is necessarily not the end of the world. You actually need to remove those chains, break those chains, break out of those chains, right? Those chains setting you back, those chains holding you that makes you feel that, no, I can't make it, I can't do this. You actually set yourself from those chains, set yourself loose from those chains, and believe that necessarily things will come out well for me. So some of the questions some persons need to ask themselves is, with me taking 9 to 15 bottles of beer, is it really an achievement? Is it an achievement? No, it's not an achievement. Another thing is there must be a part of us that suffers. There must be a part of us that suffers when we tend to do something wrongly. Yes, there's a part of us that suffers, right? When we abuse or are addicted to a particular drug. So we should know that one thing goes for another. One thing comes, if one thing you are doing something wrongly, something must always suffer, right? So if you can actually stop addiction or to an extent moderate yourself, control yourself, and build yourself, right? You understand? You have a long life to live. Don't let anyone feel that because possibly the way the situation of the country is, the situation of things are, you should start abusing drugs, you start feeling bad about yourself, that you should just be whiling away time and all that. You see, every time you spend, you can't get it back. So it's great you spend time in the right thing. You spend time building yourself, not necessarily spoiling your life and all that. Then also try your possible best, like I said, to engage in conversations, build yourself and all that. So it is so great to have you in our youth development show, the third episode of our youth development show today. I do want to appreciate everyone that participated actively in our youth development show. I also want to appreciate you for being part of this show. Yes, it's every Sunday by 3 p.m. West African time. And next Sunday, we're going to be having two great speakers in the person of Mr. Samuel, and also we are going to be having Mr. Ahmed Lawal. We are going to be interacting on the topic consistency. So we have two persons. Mr. Ahmed Lawal is a graphics designer, and also we have Mr. Samuel, who is a content creator. Yes, he's into comedy, right? He's going to talk to you about how he became consistent, how he was consistent, I was able to scale through the hard times and everything. I was able to at least build to an extent what he's having right now. And also Ahmed is going to come to talk to you about how he's able to be consistent and how he's able to get clients even after learning and all that. It was kind of tough. Most times when you learn something, it's kind of tough to an extent build something out of consistency. So he's going to talk to you about that. So do not miss out of this program. Also, I want to appreciate Mr. Oliver Wena Netiga from Germany for being part of our program. I also want to appreciate everyone for being with us. So let's listen to this recording. Let's listen to this recording.
Welcome to Future Setters Institute, where we believe in empowering individuals to create a lasting impact in the world. Whether you are a student, a young professional, a coach, or a leader, this is your platform for growth, collaboration, and transformation. At Future Setters Institute, our mission is clear. We empower young minds to reach their full potential, provide mentorship, training, and opportunities for professional work. Welcome to Future Setters.
So let's listen to this.
We believe in empowering individuals to create a lasting impact in the world. Whether you are a student, a young professional, a coach, or a leader, this is your platform for growth, collaboration, and transfer. Welcome to Future Setters Institute, where we believe
So I do want to appreciate everyone for being part of our program today. I do want to appreciate you and to appreciate Longting Enterprise and to appreciate Precious Emmanuel and to appreciate Jamila Tumar and to appreciate Avin Siva. And also I want to apologize on behalf of our speaker who's supposed to be with us in this program. And the reason is she's not really fine. So she reached out to us and she's not really fine. So that's why she's not with us today. So hopefully subsequently we'll be having her in our program. So shout out to Longting Enterprise. Longting Enterprise. Okay, so I appreciate Longting Enterprise, our sponsor. So if there is anyone that wants to join our WhatsApp group, if you are interested in being part of our WhatsApp group, you can reach out to +70. You can reach out to 7036 or 07036214263 to be part of our program. You can reach out to 07036214263, or you can reach out to +2347036214263 to join us. So I'll be displaying displaying it on the screen now. Okay. Okay. So you can reach out to us on the number via the number on the screen. So in case you have any problems, you can reach out to us. So do well to be part of our program, which is going to take place next Sunday again. And like I said, we are going to be having two great speakers. And we are going to be interacting
in empowering
on the
individuals
topic. So
to
don't
create
miss
a
out.
lasting impact in the
Don't miss
world.
out of our program.
Whether you are a student, a young professional, a coach,
So once more, I want to
or
appreciate
leader,
everyone for
this
being with
is your
us.
platform for growth,
Our program
collaboration,
holds
and transformation.
3
At
p.m.
Future
West
Setters
African
Institute,
time.
our
Thank you for
mission
being
is
with
clear.
us once more.
We empower
Once more,
young
do have
minds to
a
reach their
lovely
full potential,
weekend, to have a lovely
provide mentorship,
evening.
training, and
Do enjoy
opportunities
yourself.
for personal
Thank you so
and
much,
professional
everyone. Thank you for
development.
being with us.
We foster